Hello, guys, and welcome to another week of reading sprints. So it's been another full week of GameNightAthon. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are making the progress you want to be making because I am not. For those of you who are on Discord, you probably all know that I am still stuck on The Martian. This book is gonna take me forever to finish, but we will see. I am not entirely convinced that I will finish it. I might actually DNF it, but we'll still give it a little bit longer today, I guess, before I actually make that decision. But so, I see some people coming in. Hello, Natalie. Hello. Hey, Jess. Hello. Hi, the hi campers. Once again, if it's too loud out there, because like somebody with a scooter just passed by, definitely let me know and I can close the window. But I DNF'd the book today because it was holding me back. Exactly. That is kind of the thing. Because I kind of am like, no, I don't want to DNF because it's supposed to count for like a five space cluster. But on the other hand, I'm like, but it's taking me so long to get through this book. So if for me to finally get to that part, I still need to read like 120 pages to get the full five spaces for it. And the book is actually longer. The book is like 370 pages or so in this edition. So I'm like, not entirely sure it's actually worth it. No, you can't DNF the Martian as well, Project Hail Mary. It's awesome. Well, it definitely shows to me that there's a reason why I DNF Project Hail Mary because sometimes I still get sort of like the FOMO for Project Hail Mary whenever I see somebody else pick it up and be like, "Oh, I absolutely loved it." I'm like, "Did I really like was I wrong on it? Was like my reading mood just off or whatever?" And the fact that I'm struggling with the Martian now makes me go like, or maybe this just really isn't for me. But I like the movie, and that is actually working against me when it comes to this one because there's nothing for me to be like anxious about or like to wonder about because I know what happens. I've seen it in the movie. So the only thing that remains is the much more elaborate scientific explanation to things that I think were perfectly well explained in like 1 minute in the movie. Hello. Hey, Rosie. Just happy I could use three spaces though. Now I'm undecided what to read next. Yeah, we'll see. Like in the first sprint, like maybe a few people here, I am going to be watching the Aurelium live show, like the announcement video for the next round of the Aurelium readathon. I probably won't be able to watch all of it before I have to get back to do the chatty bit here, but I'll watch part of it. And maybe in those first 20 minutes, I probably won't get through 20 minutes in 20 minutes, 20 pages in 20 minutes, but I'll be closer to that 150 page mark, which definitely is a point in which I kind of have to make the decision of whether I'm going to do that other 100 pages to get the full five spaces or not. But at least I've been like reading something else during my commute today, so I've had a little bit of a change of pace. And in that book, I'm already like 90 pages in or so just by listening to it on the commute. So that is definitely something that's at least giving me some feeling of progression, except for the fact that I don't actually have a prompt yet for which it is counting. Hello, almost done with Project Beautiful World, so I can afterwards fully dive into these sprints. Nice. Hello, Judith. I'm coming to you live from my hammock where I've been for the past hour, but I have been yawning my head off, so I had a nap and have only read a few pages. Yeah, I've got some energy drink here with me to stay awake. Hello, Judith. Yes, so excited for the announcement video. Yeah, definitely. Like, I need to keep some shorter stuff on the side for August. On the other hand, August 1st is the announcement for the Booker Prize. So I could also potentially, like, I think I might want to keep the option available for me to completely turn my August around and read the Booker long list instead. But we'll see. I'll also watch the announcement. I'm so excited for it. Yeah, definitely. Like, because you're also on her Patreon, right? So then I can definitely understand it's even more exciting because you've been seeing it grow throughout the past few months as she's been working on it. I'm reading The Haunting of Hill House, and that is not my style of book. A Haunting to Your Martian. The Haunting of Hill House, I think I read it twice. Right? It's the one like there's a movie version of it, but the movie is slightly different, right? It's the one with like a research team that goes to a haunted house, and then one of them has a sort of like weird history with the house or something like that. That's the one, right? I do that all the time. Read three books except for the last chapter, and then decide what problems they fit and go from there. Yeah, I mean that's definitely also like I'm hoping to at least at some point be able to count this book for something. Um, but that's kind of like my my anxiety with it at this moment. I'm like, yeah, I need to count it for something. But on the other hand, I also want to read the sequel to it in August, so I needed to reread this in July now to be able to get to the sequel in August. Still reading Small Spaces, or just not been reading for a bit, but I have been gaming. Nice. Yeah, I don't have like over the weekend I didn't do a lot of reading because I was busy, but throughout this whole week I've never been prioritizing reading, and that tells me something about what I'm feeling about The Martian. I love that you're planning August and it's not halfway through July. But I'm not really planning my July, so that's kind of has something to do with it, maybe. The fact that with July I'm kind of taking it like a few books at a time. So I now know like my current book, my next book, and then I am reading another one. But um, I'm taking it like not too many steps ahead as I usually do. Usually I kind of have the entire kind of occasionally when I'm like, okay, when I finish that, I can go on to that. And then if I finish that, then I can do that. And so I'm kind of happy not to do that in July for once. I'm going to continue Little Fires Everywhere, the one I started in June and then paused it until now for it to fulfill a prompt. Nice. Weird history as in part of the family that owns the house. Ah, okay, yeah. I'm reading Hollow Places by Kingfisher. At what prompt? Yeah, so for The Martian was second chance author because I DNF'd Project Hail Mary, his newest book. And so this is my retry. It is not going great. And then I also have a book, but I don't have it with me at the moment because I haven't actually started it yet. And that's The Seven Moons of Mali Almeida. And that is my book for the best books of 2022 prompts because it is one of Paramita's favorites and it's also the favorite of Scylla, who I know from another Discord as well. So I'm taking that opportunity to read that book, which I just purchased in London last month and which was on the Booker shortlist last year. Can I assume that you won't be reading? I mean, who knows? Because Artemis is like the one that people who love like The Martian have problems with Artemis. So part of me is like somewhat curious whether maybe I would actually have a better time with Artemis, but I'm definitely not. I'm not gonna do it. I think they're done making noise for the day next door, so I might actually get to read soon. Yay! Huzzah! I love Hollow Places. Yeah, I haven't. I still need to read that one as well because that was something that you guys like. A lot of you read for the Howling Pack when I wasn't really actively involved with that. Artemis is so bad. Don't do it seriously. Okay, it's my least favorite weir. I mean, does it have that thing which my two weirs have had, where it's just like a log of one person in space documenting their time while they're alone in space? Because nah, that is not working for me, clearly. So if it has that, then I'm definitely not interested in trying it out because the parts of the Martian that I'm enjoying, 'cause there are parts that I'm actually looking forward to in the Martian, but they are the Earth parts. And maybe like the other crew, because I haven't gotten to that point where they've told. I mean, this is maybe spoilers in case somebody hasn't seen the movie or the book, but there is like the originally he is left behind by some crew members on Mars because they believe him to be dead. My cats are having a fight. And so that crew we haven't really seen. We've only heard about them, and I'm interested to get to sections told from their perspective. But the Earth sections they fly by, but they're also only like a few pages every single time. Hollow Places with the Howling Pack was one of our best buddy reads. Nice. I enjoyed Artemis far more than Book Terror did. Okay. Yeah, I really don't think I'm gonna do it. But maybe it would be successful, but I don't think it's worthwhile. So let's go into our first reading sprint. I will be back definitely in 40 minutes. I will just pause the announcement video. For those of you who want to watch the whole thing in one go, I'd absolutely understand and enjoy. All right, guys, how did we do? I just paused the announcement video for the readathon, but like we're going over prompts, which I'm always kind of like finding it difficult to keep focus on that area, especially since I don't actually like didn't in advance look up like what type of classes I'm gonna need for what's the path that my character was on. The only thing I know for sure is shapeshifting, which he was actually like just talking about when I put it on pause. So that's the only one that I'm definitely sure of. Though psionics and divination, I think I also always have in my classes that I need to take part in. So for the shapeshifting one, it's like the only thing I know is that one of the prompts is vampires, which is amazing because I have 3 volumes of Buffy lying around. So I can definitely use that for that prompts. But so how did you guys do? I did not do amazing, but like what is this, 17 pages or so in the 20 minutes that I was reading. And interestingly enough, I was just saying to you guys how I was waiting for like the time in which we will be reading from the crew. And exactly that happened when I picked the book up again, is Perspective from the Crew. So very happy to read that, though like I did, as I indicated on my Discord, I kind of looked at like a reaction video to The Martian yesterday, and so that whole beginning scene was now being repeated in this book, and I was like seeing the entire movie scene in front of my head instead of the actual book. So I just really want to watch the movie rather than be reading this book. Wait, where were we? Where were we? Where were we? Here, I think. Cascat jumping into the compost bin. Lovely. Hello, Sasha. Lovely to see you here at this time of the day. Hey, Daniela. Okay, time to feed the kittens, but I did read a bit. Nice. This is about hollow places, I think. I do like it so far, but I have a hard time visualizing some things, and that's such a bummer because I don't have that very often. Okay, I have that very often, so for me that would just be quite normal. For me, it's like a praise for a book when I actually can visualize it. Hello, Mika. Not reading, but writing reviews. Nice. I have such a backlog on Goodreads since I started using the Storygraph more. I have such a backlog on my Goodreads reviews, and like on Storygraph, I only rate them. I don't review them, so it's not like it would be double work. The intention was to rate them on Storygraph and then review them on Goodreads, but that ain't happening at the moment. Advising a random person on their CV, and I might go for a workout if I don't lose steam in the next 10 minutes. Go for it, Daniela. Go. So I last Thursday started running. And the sad news is that normally I was supposed to go running today for the 4th time, but my hip hurts from the 3rd time of running. So I already have to take a step back to allow my body to recover a little bit more. But so yesterday I put like an ice pack on my hip, and I put like some Voltaren gel on it. I'm also taking anti-inflammatories that are intended for my collarbone. My collarbone was also acting up a little bit, but I mean, in all fairness, I was also thinking about the fact that it would probably also help my hip when I started taking them again. But so yeah, today I kind of had to decide, and I decided like it was probably gonna be best. Even though when I woke up, the hip was feeling well, I was like, okay, let's not do it. So today I cycled to work. Was fine, didn't really feel it. Most of the day I haven't really felt it, but it's not fully there yet. I feel some weirdness still in it. And then tomorrow I'm going swimming, which should also be fine for the hip. And then hopefully on Saturday I can go running it again because I am now motivated for it. So it's very annoying to have to wait now. So we had cold outside, so I have come indoors for my hammock. On the way indoors, I noticed that the garage door was slightly open. Oh, I thought I should check to see if the guest cat has wandered in for an explore. Probably. Yesterday, when the HelloFresh guy arrived, I left my door open to go and collect my HelloFresh, and of course, by the time I got back, Fate was already out in the communal hallway. Hello, Larissa. Just joined. I'm watching the announcement as well. Nice. No reading this time, but made dinner. Nice. My audio is not very good, so I'm gonna switch to a physical book for the next sprints. Nice. I haven't even watched the announcement yet. Yeah, it just went live, so like it's not like you could have watched it before this. It was just going live during this live show. So you can watch it in the next sprint or something like that, or just later, whenever you have the time for it, or the mood for it, because maybe it will raise some stress about what potentially needs to be read in August. Sure enough, sat in the middle of the garage, eyes glowing, was the guest cat, who should not be in there. Their tools, sawdust, and all sorts on the floor in there. Yeah, not it's not the most ideal surroundings for the cats, but cats typically don't really mind. I'm chilling, perfect. Now I was watching highlights of the Tour de France. Yeah, that's cycling is really not my sport. I hate bicycling myself, and I think cycling is quite boring to look at. So that's like the one sport that's I mean it's not the one sport, it's one of many sports I don't care about. I think I could care more about cycling than I care about football, for example, because at least you have like those very beautiful landscape images that also run through it. What's the lowdown on this readathon that you're checking out the announcement video? I'm detecting hype. Yeah, it's one of the most like widespread readathon on BookTube. So it was created by G from Book Roast, and for years it was like a Harry Potter inspired readathon. Now it's like its own world with its own types of races and stuff like that. And it's basically like you create your own character, and then your character goes through like different semesters in school, let's say. And so every like in April and in August is when the semesters take place, and so the August semester is about to start. And so you kind of choose a career that your character is aiming for, and then you read books for the classes that they need to take in order to get to that career. Um, and my character actually combines two careers, which I've always said, like, let's see how far I can keep that up, but I always keep on doing it. But I don't know. This might be the time that I have to cave. But so my character is pretending to be a Rift architect while actually being a, like, what is it? I don't actually know what it's called. Because basically she's sort of like a spy. She's training to do like some like darker stuff, and then she's like trained to be a rift architect so that she can kind of pretend as if she's like not got that thing whole thing going on. When I don't work, I live like a normal being at normal hours. Yeah. Sasha for me is the opposite. Yeah. No, I always keep like normal hours. My hours just like reduce a lot because I wake up way later, but I do still go to bed at the time that I would, or maybe like a little bit later than I would during a regular work week. Workouts and running injuries. Today I ordered chocolate. Hey, I've also got chocolate lying around. Like I'm very motivated for it now. So I'm like looking at all these articles, and then you have this sort of like, yeah, articles that talk about like how you shouldn't be rewarding yourself with too much food because then that kind of defeats the purpose. And I'm like, no, I'm definitely at the stage where I'm rewarding myself with food for doing physical activity. Maybe one day we'll get to another stage, but right now I'm like, hell yeah, you earned this dessert because you just went swimming for 40 minutes. We'll check the video once all my shelves are up so I can see my TBR, and we'll focus on chilling this week and maybe figure out what to read this month. Nice. So the shelves are almost up. That's interesting. I've been watching the Tour de France for longer than I care to admit, so it's habit nowadays. Yeah, it's like cycling is quite a big deal here in Belgium, and so it's one of those sports that like it's not it's not unusual for like any type of cycling game to be on the TV whenever there's one of these big things in Belgium. So a lot of times, indeed, on a Sunday when we would have like family dinners, the cycling crosses would be on. But yeah, I never really paid any attention. I'm just gonna mute myself because I need to blow my nose. I've been splitting a pallet in a garage, so there are tools like circular saws, hammers, and hand saws just scattered about. So I worry about a cat exploring inside the garage. Also, the wind blows the door open and close, so I could imagine the guest cat wandering inside, and then the door closes, so it's shut inside. I should not have left the door not fully closed. Yeah, that's definitely something like to check maybe before you like go to sleep or something like that, because I think most of the times when cats go missing, they're actually like in some sort of a shed of one of the neighborhood houses, but they like just got in somehow, and then there's always the danger of them like being stuck in there for a few days because not everybody goes into like their garden shed every day, for example. Putting the last locations on the pictures, then the video can go on YouTube. Nice. I mean, the new bookcases are coming on Saturday. My complete TBR is in boxes now. Okay, okay. Did you manage to pack everything without stressing, or was it a mad rush? I mean, I'm thinking it was pretty much a mad rush since she had to kind of like pack stuff, bring it over to the new place, unpack it, and then take the packing material back to pack other stuff in. So I can only imagine how much of a mad rush that is, because I think I packed everything up. Into boxes and bags and stuff like that, and then moved everything, or like not in one go, of course, but like loaded up a car, unloaded it, drove an empty car back, loaded it again, and stuff like that. Um, but to also to have to spend the time to to refill boxes and stuff like that, and to immediately unpack the boxes, to some extent is better, I guess, because with my procrastination, some of those boxes went unpacked for a very long time. We were talking previously on some live stream somewhere about how hard it is to move, but easier when you're sharing a house rather than owning everything inside. You mean like that there's already some furniture there? Um, like, I don't know how often that is the case here in Belgium. They definitely do have them, these apartments that come furnished. I've just never really seen the appeal in that, because, like, when I went to look for an apartment to get, part of the appeal was definitely to like fully decorate it to my taste and fully have it be sort of like my creation. So like renting a place that's already furnished to me would be like it would defeat part of the purpose, because it wouldn't fully feel like my thing, because I would be annoyed about like, I don't know, the sofa that they chose not being the type of sofa that I like or something like that. I did not have a time limit, as some things are still at my parents', but yep, I did 95% completely alone, and heavy stuff too. Yeah, and a lot of like assembly, right? I mean, I did a lot of assembly here as well on my own, though not like the big table. There's no way I could have done the table in any case. I mean, it's like I don't know how heavy that um top layer is, the wooden uh slate of the table, but I am imagining it's very heavy, because it was definitely super heavy when they were lifting it. So even with multiple people holding that up, like, I mean, even turning it around with multiple people was difficult. The sofa is the same thing, because it's like two parts and then they had to click together. Would have never been able to do that. But a lot of the stuff that I kind of bought afterwards in IKEA, a lot of that assembly I did by myself, even though some of those definitely were not intended to be done by one person. For many of them, I was like, "Oh, you can totally do this as one person." For some of them, I was definitely like, "Yeah, I understand why you need to be two people for this, but I'm too stubborn now to take a break. I will absolutely finish this all on my own, even if that is borderline crazy." I would not like to move out of McTavish Manor now. Too much stuff all in its place. I'm sometimes tempted by the idea of moving somewhere with more land for growing food. Yeah, but you already have a very nice spot, right? With the greenhouse, that's already really nice as well. But I can understand, of course, always wanting it to be more. Sometimes I think about it as well, about like the idea of more space, but on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, but I like the fact that this is compact. I already put way too much stuff in here, considering its size, and I already feel like a lot of the stuff that I have in here I actually don't really need. So I would never really do it, I think, because I always feel like it would be a waste to move to something that's bigger than what I need. Um, but yeah, sometimes I do think about it, or like the sort of like image of living out in the countryside, surrounded by nature and not have all of this city noise. But on the other hand, I really love living in the center of the city and being able to on a whim be like, oh, you know what, I need this or that, or like I need a blouse, and let's just go to the city center and go find a clothing store and buy something. I also like that a whole lot. So I think I'm more or less situated ideally, but sometimes you like to think about a situation other than your own and kind of fantasize about what it would be like to live like that. I think I did 15 round trips a day for 4 to 5 days to the place and back to my parents because I only had my car to move everything. Interesting. I mean, we had my parents' car only as well, but they had like yeah, they had like a thing that you I don't know how to call it, like a big cart sort of thing that you can hang on the back of a car. That's the same size as a car, more or less. So there we could move like the big pieces on. So that's definitely like that was definitely a huge help, of course. And then the bigger stuff like the sofa and the table were new, so they were being delivered. But yeah, the idea of moving everything scares me definitely. And I grew so tired of that I like also spent zero effort in trying to like minimize my possessions while moving from one place to another. I should have definitely been more like gatekeeping of what was making it into my new space. I was just so tired of it at that point in time, so that it took like 3 4 years for me to have been already here before I went through all of that stuff again. I was like, these things I haven't used in the entire time that I've been here, so they can absolutely go. It's going to be so nice when everything is in its place and you can just pad around in comfort. Definitely. Hey, Charlotte. I barely use half the house here, but although managing the garden consumes a vast amount of time, I could happily find a use for double the amount of space outside. Nice. Need to find like, and maybe you need to like transform a room into like an extra room for plants for growing stuff where you put like heat lamps and stuff like that. Though the cost of that, of course, would be pretty large, I can expect, as well as the cost to the environment, I guess. I watched the announcement and oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay, so it's well, wow, you're only done now because then I still got a lot to go because then I still have like some 20 minutes, I guess, to go. But that's fine. I kind of assumed it to be that long, so I will be doing that during the next sprint. I will be watching the rest of the announcement video, and then I guess I need to look at that. Sort of like guides to see what the courses are that I need to take and which prompts. I hope I don't have another wolf on the cover or something like that. An extra space for heat lamps and growing plants. I think you mean my dining room. Okay. I need to read 14 books for my career and guess I'm reading Witch King next month. Wow. 14 books. I mean, you read really fast, so I guess it's much more doable for you. I have also done it, I think. 13, I think. Probably also for Magical Readathon at one point in time. I do have the added benefit usually of one class corresponding, like overlapping between my two careers. So I'm definitely hoping for that again. I clearly need to post that picture somewhere. It has two shelves and four LED lamps scattered across them. It warms the room very well. Nice. This last week I went to London. I found a retro clothing store and now I have lots of inspiration to sew. And I have Taylor Swift tickets for Amsterdam and need an outfit. They go together perfectly. Perfect. And on that happy note, guys, I'll see you in 40. I will be continuing my watch of the announcement video and then I'll do some more reading. But so happy reading, guys. All right, guys, how did you do? I think some further, like 16 pages or something like that. And I listened to the rest of the Magical Readathon announcement. I need to read 12 books in August for it. I don't have any overlapping classes, so it's not ideal, but we'll work with it. We'll see what ends up happening there. Um, ba-ba-bum. That I already read. Hammock time, exactly. Need to rewatch and see what prompts I need, but they all sound really fun. Yeah, I have checked out the prompts. Some of them are pretty easy, but I also don't want to fill in too many of them yet because I might just like do a last minute Booker Prize thing. But so I have the vampire prompt for which I can use Buffy or Angel, one of the comics, and then the comic prompt for which I can use Buffy or Angel. So at least I can fit in two comic books already, which will help with the 12 book load. I just saw there are sprints. Yes, welcome. Just finished studying and will read with you all now. Nice. Finally on my way home. Such a long day, but almost there. Whew, that is a long day indeed. Hammocked for a bit, but it continues to be a wheat hat, cold and windy, even for a hardy member of Clan McTavish. Yeah, it's a little bit colder here as well today. Like during the day, it were like perfect temperatures, and even now I also have like the window still open. But I definitely feel like it can be a little bit chilly now. Read the first 60 pages of Song of Sorrow, excited to finally finish this duology. Nice. July has been generally a bit wet and chilly, so my reading performance has dipped after a good start to GameNightAthon. I'm disappointed in myself. I mean, it's normal after you've kind of pushed yourself past what you regularly read to then just kind of fall back. You might still have a little bit of another push towards the end of the month. Read 5 pages of The Grimoire of Grey Fates. 45 pages of Beach Read by Emily Henry, 30 pages. 12 books in August sounds like an epic achievement, but I have been warping through my short GameNightAthon picks, even despite the slow ongoing performance. Yeah, I think it's definitely doable, but it just depends on what type of books to choose. There are like I was kind of hoping. On the one hand, I knew I wanted short reads for August. On the other hand, there are quite a few long ones I want to get in there because I pushed back quite a few long ones that were originally in July. So, what I would love to read is The Liar's Knot by M.A. Carrick. Ship of Destiny by Robin Hobb, the new Kushil book for the read along, which are three massive books. I also still have The Last Argument of Kings lying around, which is also a big book. So those are my concerns. The story graph data will not lie. We will be able to compare my effort from month to month visually in a graph. I'm such a data nerd. Speaking of data, I still need to share something with you guys, which I did not look at beforehand compared to last week. So we'll see how well this goes. So I should be sharing a different tab, but I'm also going to be looking for a little bit on YouTube myself to see what it's looking like, to make sure like the print isn't too small or anything like that. Yeah, because that's very small, right? Okay, turn off my own audio. I don't want to listen to myself from 10 seconds ago. How do I increase this? All right. Yeah, of course, now I need to. This is much more difficult to check, right? I think that is more or less visible now. So let's see whether the stats page is still up and running. Ta-da! That's correct, right? We didn't have these numbers last time. I don't think so. No, I definitely don't think so. So at this point in time, total amount of books read are 306 books amongst 39 people, which is not entirely true because Paramita is counted in there 3 times. So across 37 people, in all fairness, and a total amount of pages already of 93,892 pages. So we'll definitely cross the 100,000 page mark, and we might actually get there already, like past this weekend, for example, which I at least find very exciting. So 306 books already, that's just amazing. That's like, I mean, I was gonna say it's almost like 10 books a person, but it's not the case, across 39, but still it's a huge amount. So those big readers are evening out those amongst us who are, of a more a slower caliber of reader. Oh wait, so I'm checking the comments for a second. I saw a good suggestion there. I'll get to that instantly. What a segue! Yeah, I know. From data to data. Okay, I did the workout. Perfect. Yes, I'm home. How are you all doing? Good, good, good. Maybe stop sharing yourself so we can see the full screen indeed. So I'm going to do that in a second. I looked at the problems for William and I need to do and lots of fun ones. Isn't there someone that has read 128 books in 10 days or something? Very much possible for Paramita to have read that many books. Stats. Exactly. Is someone going for all of the top three spots, gold, silver, and bronze? I mean, I will definitely only count her once, even if she does manage that. Still need to log my books on my third, and I'm loving my third book so far. Ah, perfect. Still need to log at least 13 books. Wow. Project Beautiful World is online right now. A challenge to make jigsaws puzzles from all around the world. Um, the first part is online for now. End of the year, an update with new countries. Nice. So, wait. If I share it like this, yes. Now you see the full page. So, what else do we have here? So, an average score of 30. I'm still on my 5 points, which I'm very happy with. So, I'm definitely nowhere near that. A high score of 188. That's Paramita number two. Average spaces filled are 30. That's interesting because the average score is also like 30 exactly. And maximum spaces filled is 105. So, that is the entire board. So, we have two entries, I think, for the entire board. I think only Paramita has finished the entire board two times. I don't think, like last time I checked, she was the only one who had finished it. And then the average amount of books per person is 8.1, so 8 books on average per person. Average amount of pages per person is 2,470. I'm nowhere near that. I think that is less for here, right? So when we look at the colors or shapes, we can see a much more even distribution. I mean, the distribution last week wasn't that uneven neither, but we're seeing it even out even further now. So we're getting much closer to like an even distribution of 20% amongst all of the 5 prompts, with just a slight, it's just slightly in favor of the blue prompts, the orange prompts. And then what I definitely didn't check, which last week I did in order to be able to tell you guys which ones were these prompts. But so the most popular prompts, it seems like, is still this one. So still the first blue one, which is, I know this one is now the most popular one. So the second orange one. Let me just quickly check that on the, do I have that visual saved on my computer? Yes, I do. So the second orange prompt was a favorite genre. Makes sense. So that one is the most chosen prompts, quickly followed by the first prompt for blue, which is to read a book with the in the title, followed by the first orange one, which was a mood read. So as indicated last week, it makes sense for the most popular prompts to be in those first two rows because more people will have finished those, compared to the later prompts, because I'm working on prompt 5, I think, at this point in time. So yeah, I'm not there yet neither, and I'm guessing quite a few people amongst you are also not there yet. Uh, Let's see. I'll go back to the comments for a little bit. So, it depends. There are some people who like try to participate in like as many readathons as they're aware of, and then some who just like to focus on the one and then have that be it. But Amita actually, I don't think typically participates in readathons. And she was hesitating about this one because she reads such chunky books, and I told her, like, with your reading pace, it doesn't matter how chunky your books are, you're definitely going to be able to score high. 2 times, yeah, yeah, yeah. Crazy reading pace, I know. It all depends on the readathons and who hosts them. I've done anywhere between 1 and 5 a month. I cannot comprehend how somebody can fill it in so quickly. That just seems utterly bonkers. Yeah, we always joke about the fact that, like, if Paramita says that she will pick up a book, that, 5 minutes later she will have finished it. Is the screen blurry for everyone, or is it just me? I see it pretty clear. I'm hoping that it's just something temporary, or maybe like it was just a temporary lower quality of, like the connection. But I think that it should be quite clear now. I'm trying to see. Yeah, if I look on the stream, it seems pretty clear for me. So hoping it was just something temporarily. Do you share the love around between multiple readathons, or do you tend to keep it to a regular group of readathons that I take part in? I mean, I'm not a super regular readathon participator, but I participated in a few that I like Becca's Bookopolython. I really enjoy a lot. Magical Readathon I really enjoy, and then it kind of depends what else I do. Screen's very legible. Okay, screen's perfectly fine for me. Okay, so it was just something on your end, I'm afraid. So no, clear for me. Do you readathoners seek out readathons far and wide, or do you have lots of choice between already? Yeah, I think you can really go far and wide, and I think there are also certain, like, if you follow certain Twitter accounts or something, they have like an overview of all the readathons that take place. So that's also a way in which you can do it, in which you can find all the readathons. Oh no, wait. Okay. I thought my timer was no longer counting down, so that I didn't know how long we still had to go in this chatty bit. Um, but so I typically don't really go hunting for them because I could just stumble upon them enough for my liking. But I think you can do hunting around for readathons. I still see people participating here, so I'm guessing they're coming across it somehow. I get sucked into readathons always. I watch Pages with Paige, and she puts out an upcoming readathons video monthly. So I end up finding cool new people. That's how I found this channel. Oh, really cool! I didn't know that it was mentioned somewhere. That's cool. Readathon from the pack or my favorite creators go for anything. And then the readathons with awesome teams, and I always try to double up on readathons per book if I do 5. Yeah, definitely. If you're gonna do multiple readathons, you need to find books that can kind of cross over between the different readathons, because otherwise, no way that you're gonna get there. If the screen is blurry, check how high your video quality is. Sometimes the other one is horrible. Yeah, that's possible. Doubling up is the way, yes, and twisting prompts in your favor, definitely. I find the readathon to be quite stressful. I know, I shouldn't do it like that, but that's just how it ends up being. I struggle to keep up with read-alongs, never mind readathons. I quite a lot of the times, so that's why I like Becca's Bookopolython. I like the fact that I roll as I go, and so I don't make a plan ahead of time, and so I'll just see how many rolls I get to. My goal is just to finish like 5, and that's it. Um, and then Magical Readathon is the only one that kind of stresses me out because of how many prompts I have to get done. But a lot of times with a lot of other readathons, sometimes I just like at the end of the month see if what I read that could actually fit some of those prompts without actually planning to do it. For what I really like, for example, in that respect, is Realmathon, because Realmathon, if you're a fantasy reader, it's super easy to just count everything you've read to some extent for that readathon. I never twist the prompts, Angel. Then don't do them. I do so many because I like them. It helps me choose my books. Yeah, definitely. I also like when I do some like for example, now I'm having my readathon next month. I don't even Camp Enchanted, right? That's the name. And then it's also Magical Readathon. And then September normally is Becca's Bookopolython. And then I will absolutely need a break from readathons. Um, finding crossover books is like super hard mode, as it's tough to find books for a single readathon. Never mind making it extra hard by having it map into other readathons. It kind of depends. That's like nice if you have like the super broad readathons where they're like super vague prompts, or for a realmathon where you have a list of prompts and per book you can count like 3 prompts maximum to rack up points. So you'll normally be able to count at least 1 prompt for whatever book you end up choosing because of how wide the prompts are. I actually already decided not to do readathons, but I figured I'd break my own decision to join in with BB's new adventure. So this is a one-off, yes. Yeah, my next one will be very wide normally, so you should be able to participate without any problems in terms of like choices of prompts. Now, what else do we have in here? We have the high score, which I'm hoping correctly calculated, and it did not, I think. Wait, because no, right? That's not correct. Unless did I change something about this? No. Uh, and I hate using Google Sheets because I don't know how to work with it. It's not what I needed to do. How does this thing work? Ugh, extra. No. Is that what I need? No. I already have a turntable. I just need to get into the turntable. Oh, I hate these things. All right, I'll have to figure that out in the next sprint. How to get into that thing and how to adapt it. Because this is, oh, wait. This is not correct. So points in the row, yes, with unique username. Yeah, so why is that not correct? Some of the this is based on books. Wait. Nah, I'll still have to do it in the next sprint because I need to think about that and try out some things to see what is going to come out. I did one readathon last year, Once Upon a Readathon, then failed utterly and completely with TBR Blitz. So that was me. I decided I was one and done until this month. Readathons are way too stressful for me. This one is just random enough for me to enjoy, but with the set prompts for each book or month, it feels more like work than really for me enjoying reading. Yeah, I definitely like them to be more like open and for you to always have choices. Also, not all readathons are or have to be taken as competitive. It can just be a fun way to pick what you read. Exactly. Like, I think, like many amongst us, I've given up all hope that I will ever be able to win this. I mean, I never really had that hope to begin with because I know myself. So for me, this is just a fun way to kind of, push myself to read a little bit more and, get to choose my books in a different way than usual. Fist bump to you. If it felt like work, I wouldn't do them either. Exactly. There are points where it's got a wee bit of competition baked in. Yeah, definitely, of course. And for competitive people, it's definitely gonna always have that little bit of competition edge. Fist bump, yes, I suppose a wee bit indeed. Fist bump, BB will perhaps not get that. Fist my bump. No, I don't get that reference, unfortunately. But you can decide if you want to play or to win or for fun. Yeah. I'm trying to do a read along. I've fallen behind. A readathon. My pace is dipping, and I want to do a themed reading list. You can do them at your own pace. You don't have to follow the schedule of the read along or anything like that. I never compete to win with readathons. There are people who don't work and are able to read at least one book a day. That's never happening for me. And there are just people who read way faster than me in any case. Like, even if I have the exact same amount of time as they would, I would never be winning from them just because I don't have focus power for that amount of time. You didn't enough. You didn't have the book to. Oh, okay. No, I don't know that reference because I dislike that book. But so, 40 minutes. Let's go into our last reading sprint. I'm going to be working on that statistic in the spreadsheet. So, hopefully, I have a leaderboard for you guys when we get back. All right, that was the final reading bit. How did you guys do? I am just shy of 200 pages, so on page 197 at this point in time. Enjoying it a little bit more because there are more Earth bits now. But yeah, we'll just keep chipping away at it, I guess. We are now more or less halfway through, I guess. Um, let's see where I was. No concentration enough, indeed, to read through many, like to continue reading for a long bit of time. That was me about to fix to the spreadsheet, which we will get back to very shortly. Dreaming Tiger has been watched 147 times. It's the tiny short of my sleeping cat, to which Jeroen said, people do love seeing cats, definitely. Content is always appreciated. But it is fun to kind of see like a video take off. Like it's very satisfying to see the Game Nightathon video, which I'm assuming at this point is probably my most watched video of all times. Previously, I think it was like it also happened with like my review for the first binding. That was also one of those videos that like got so many more views than I thought it was ever gonna get, which is very satisfying. Trying to live fix this problem over the phone while somebody watches your screen sharing is high pressure to prefer to get off the phone and solve it in minutes. Yeah, even if they don't see what I'm doing, like if my sales call me and they want like an answer from me, I prefer to kind of be like, yeah, I'll look it up and I'll send it to you versus them hanging around on the phone while I look through it, even if it's just like looking for a serial number of a device or something like that. Just the added pressure of, them waiting around for you to find it just adds unnecessary pressure and makes you kind of second guess yourself or makes the brain kind of shut down about things that you can normally easily find otherwise. Also, not a huge fan of puppeteering somebody over a screen sharing session. Top left of the screen, no left, not right. Stop scrolling. You keep on whizzing past it, ever more agitated. Yeah, I mean, when it happens for me, it's usually with people that I'm really comfortable with. So that are really just like work friends, and so then I don't mind. I missed everything today, so sorry. No worries. I'm just paranoia checking over there sometimes because I don't actually see Faith at the moment. She's out on the bed. Ah, there you are. Thanks. Another 60 pages, about to finish part one. Started off so promisingly out in the hammock an hour before you went live, but in total I managed a mere 25 pages. A very poor showing this evening. No worries. Read 40 pages, another 30 pages, a lovely fresh breeze while cuddling under my blanket on the balcony. Nice. Our training folks had a neat line when they got asked a question they didn't know the answer to. Ask me that over lunch and we'll go through it. Then they can go find out the answer. Yeah, exactly. But now, because we still have 6 minutes and I don't want to make sure we still get this, so let's go back to the stats page. Yeah, don't want to see that anymore. So this has remained the same in the meantime. And I removed the second parameters. So I just kept the parameter with the highest score. So then you can see the highest score at this moment is parameter number 2 with 188 points, reading 30 books. For that, she completed the entire board, which is not visible here, but she's the only one who has done so far. Then, up until Paramita joined his challenge, Red Wheeler 721 was clearly in the lead, and they are still expanding upon their point score. So at 105 points at this point in time with 19 books. And then we have a few people that are like semi close to one another. I still think Jill and PJ's has quite a substantial lead, let's say, with 10 more scores to the next one. So she is in third position with 17 books read, and then we get to like a few in the 70s and the 60s, and then it's interesting to see a huge gap here from the over 60 points people, which are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people who have over over 60, and all the rest are under there or even under 40. And then you can see like we get even a bigger gap where you have the majority around here. So when you kind of see the scores, you can see that there are like the huge ones and then like the more clusters of lower scores that to some of us might seem more achievable. Oh yeah, I didn't, of course, while doing that, forget to put it all on the big screen. So I hope you guys actually saw it. So definitely let me know if that wasn't the case, and then I can kind of go through it again with it being more visual. Uh, Last 10 minutes, read about 15 pages, had to make dinner, forgot it because of the editing. Yeah, I can imagine sometimes you're really into it, and then you get like super engrossed and forget about time, what even is time. How does somebody inhale books that fast? Yeah, I wish I could. Would love to read that fast, exactly. So I'm on top of the lower scores. It feels like winning. Which one? Wait, where were you? Are you the na? Because on here you are na na na. So you are the na. Yeah, you're the top one of the. And I must say you're doing that very economically because you've only read like 6 books, whereas the person under you has read like twice the amount of books for 3 points less. So those stats I still need to run at some point as well. The ones for like who is reading. Um, there could be many interesting there because I can look at who is reading the least amount of extra pages, who's reading the most amount of extra pages, but also who's getting the highest amount of scores with the least amount of books. Though I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to calculate that. I guess something like points divided by books, right? That's going to give me that ratio. Probably, right? I need to think about that. Nice, me. Yes, I think I'm on book 5 at the moment. I think so too, right? I think this is, wait, what is prompt 5? Yeah, prompt 5, Orange's Second Chance author. So that is also what I'm working on now. Once I have that completed, I still have the 6th book that I need to start. And actually, what is currently winning for my poll? Because when I checked it earlier, there were only like 9 people who had voted at that point in time, so we can still hope for a more favorable outcome. Community tab. Currently, 17 people have voted. Disability rep is still in the leads, which means I will have to. I mean, it's not a bad thing if it wins, absolutely not. I love disability representation. I just won't be able to count my current read for it at that point in time. Currently have a score of 0, so it's time for logging books or being chaos, and in the end try to log them all. I mean, 0 means that you've done a good job already because you've gotten rid of all the negative points. I'm on my 10 book and apparently I'm still not doing well. I wonder how long it would take me to clear my TBR if I was able to read 156 books each month. Exactly. I mean, she DNFs a lot as well, of course. But even then, she can get through huge books in a very short period of time. I finished 13 and started 2. Nice. For the randomized prompt, can we make a list and randomize that one? Or does it? No, you can do whatever you want. So indeed, if you want to make it more favorable, you could say like, okay, out of these 5 books, I get whichever one or like 6 might be easier for a dice, for example. Like I'll write down 6 books. The die will tell me which of these 6 I read, for example, or any other system, of course, but it doesn't need to be fully random in the sense that you don't need to be able to choose from every single book on your TBR. Or maybe less because of the negative points. I mean that maybe you're under 0 already, but still, we're reading, we're having fun. That's the most. That's the best thing. I went green again. My books will be logged by next week. I have no idea how many points I have, so it will be fun to see. Exactly. Night all, may the stars shine down favorably. Yeah, we need that. But so with that, we've made it to the end of these sprints again. Next week, I might put them earlier. I'll probably put them earlier. I probably might put them like an hour earlier or something like that, just because there's an open cinema thing going on here, and that movie starts at 10 o'clock. So when these sprints would normally be ending, so I'll probably put them an hour earlier so I can still go to the open air cinema then. But so thank you guys for being here and enjoy the rest of your evening. And let's see each other again next week. And mainly let's just keep on chatting to one another over on Discord. So good luck with the rest of your reading and see you guys for the next one. Bye.